Senate removes Ali Nudume as chief whip over alleged anti-party activities. Court reinstates Shuaibu as deputy governor of Edo State as Assembly appeals judgment. University of Ibadan students protest tuition fee hike. On the foreign scene, Hezbollah threatens to target new Israeli sites. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Abuja as a lawmaker representing Borno South Senatorial District, Ali Nudume, has been removed as the chief whip of the Nigerian Senate. The decision was announced on Wednesday after a letter of complaint against Ali Nudume by the leadership of the All Progressives Party Congress, APC, was read by the president of the Nigerian Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during Wednesday's plenary. The letter, signed by the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje and the Secretary of the party, Senator Ajibola Bashir, explained that Ali Nudume, in his capacity as chief whip, has been working to bring down the country through his unguarded utterances. When the matter was put to a voice vote by the Senate President, members of the APC Senate caucus endorsed Ali Ndume's removal. He was immediately replaced by his Borno counterpart, Tahir Monguno.
Instead of hiding behind the veil of grass activism to decimate the hard-earned cohesion and goodwill that our party, the APC, is enjoying within and outside the country. His utterances, which are sheer propaganda, are not based on verifiable facts, are unbecoming of a member of the APC caucus in the Senate of the National Assembly, and it therefore behoves on the APC caucus to bring this to the attention of its members for necessary action to curtail his deliberate mission to undermine the government and the party and the progress of Nigeria.
And in other news, Justice Omotosho James of the Federal High Court in Abuja has reinstated Philip Shuaibu as the Deputy Governor of Edo State, months after he was impeached by the State Assembly. In the judgment delivered on Wednesday, Justice Omotosho declared the impeachment by the Edo State House of Assembly as illegal, unconstitutional, null and void. The court held that the said impeachment was in gross violation of the provisions of both Sections 188 and 35 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Aside from restoring Shuaibu back to his former position, the court also ordered that his salaries, allowances should be paid to him from April when he was impeached as Deputy Governor of Edo State. The court also issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and the Edo State House of Assembly from stopping Philip Shuaibu from performing the functions of his office as Deputy Governor. Justice Omotosho also ordered the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Gbetakun, to restore the Deputy Governor's security details.
I want to thank the judiciary. I want to thank Justice Omotosho for his courage, and he has restored confidence that truly the judiciary is the glass roof. And as a common person, justice has been done. And I want to thank Edo people. Edo people are Nigerians. Everywhere I went throughout this process, everybody I see, they tell me we are praying for you. I want to tell Edo people and Nigerians that have been praying for me, that God has answered our prayer. So I dedicate this to God and this God. This justice, judgment today, as we have found the foundation of democracy in Nigeria. And it has also send a message to anti-democratic forces that their time is coming to an end. So democracy must survive in Nigeria. Democracy is what we have said. To Edo people, I'll continue to serve you everything I have. And by the grace of God, together I do it.
Meanwhile, the Edo State House of Assembly has appealed the judgment of the High Court and has filed a motion for a stay of execution pending determination of the appeal. In other news, suspected armed men have reportedly killed one person and abducted 4 others in Kaswar Magani area of Kajuru local government area in Kaduna State. A relative of one of the victims said the victims, who are all residents of Nudume in Zaria, were returning from their farms on Tuesday when they were attacked by the bandits. According to the source, the chairman, Nudume Butchers Association, Zaria, Muhammad Bashir, was killed instantly. The source further stated that a public commentator and a lecturer at the Federal College of Education, Zaria, Samaila Sahabi, his younger brother, Sidi Sahabi, and 2 others were also abducted during the attack. Reports say the corpse of the deceased has since been recovered and buried in Zaria. Now, the police authorities in Zamfara State have warned residents of the state against joining the planned nationwide protest by youths slated for the 1st of August against the federal government. The State Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Dalijang, gave the warning on Tuesday while meeting with religious leaders, organized labor, and student groups in the state. He said bandits, Boko Haram insurgents, and other criminal groups will take advantage of the protests and foment trouble. The federal government, according to the police authorities, is not responsible for the hunger many are passing through, adding that the activities of the bandits, which have prevented farmers from accessing their farmlands, are the major cause, or is the major cause of the hardship in the country. However, the position of the police on the protest did not go down well with the organized labor and other stakeholders involved in the meeting. They want the federal government to rise to its responsibility and make life affordable for the common man in the country, as is expected of any government. Thousands of students at the University of Ibadan have protested against a hike in tuition fees and other sundry charges on Wednesday morning. The visibly angry students who protested moved in large numbers to the entrance of the institution and blocked access. Both academic and non-academic staff were locked out of their offices. After blocking all the entrances, they moved from one faculty to another to ensure that academic activities have been totally grounded. The students, who warned sternly that there should be no video recording of the protest, explained that the school management has not been fair to students. The school tuition fees is reported to have increased significantly from about 78,000 naira to between 200 and 300,000 naira.
In this university, let there be light, consistent one, please. Why pressure? Some of us are sponsoring our electricity, they must be consistent electricity. No light, no water.
Allocation to the University of Ibadan. Increase allocation to the University of Ibadan. We are not stopping this protest yet. No, we won't stop. If our issue is not being addressed, we will go to National Assembly. Three of our students were victimized last time.
We are not yet to fight for protest.
Three of our students were victimized for protest.
They continue to tell us to be calm and patient. That something will be done. But they continue to issue threats in the form of mail.
Protesting students at the University of Ibadan. Staying with education, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday launched the Nigeria Education Loan Fund at the council chambers of the State House. In attendance at the inauguration was the leadership of the National Assembly, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, some ministers of the government, heads of agencies, and members of the board and management team of the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, led by its board chairman, Jim Ovia. After launching the portal, the president handed out symbolic checks to some students and institutions. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Akintunde Sawyer, says the portal has received over 110,000 loan applications so far. This is coming few weeks after the President approved 35 billion naira for the scheme's takeoff, targeting 70,000 initial applicants. Jim Ovia had approved the disbursement of loans to successful applicants during the inaugural meeting in Abuja last month. The student loan scheme seeks to provide financial support, including tuition fees and stipends to eligible students nationwide. Over 1.2 million Nigerian students are expected to benefit from the first phase of the program. Residents of Benue State have continued to decry the rising cost of transportation across the country. They question whether the government at sub-national and national level is capable of addressing the needs of the people, especially under the current economic climate. Trust TV's Jimmy Azande has more.
While the Benue State government has slashed down transportation costs for intercity shuttles, it is not the same situation for intra-city travels. Students, artisans, market women and workers in the private and public sectors in the capital, Makurdi said the cost is biting harder on the masses.
So now, but the way I'm feeling now, like now, for me to go from here now just to BSU gate and then they'll be telling me 300 naira. Okay, now, if you can calculate that 300 naira in 7 days, that is 300 times 7, it's almost 2,100 naira for just a week. And I, as a student, and especially all students that are just dependent on our parents and don't have any side work to do.
As a student, it has not been easy on me. The thing has been tiring. Like before, if I want to come to school, I will use like 50 naira transport myself from house to my house to school. But these days now, before I can come from my house to school, it's very, very difficult. Bike man now will be charging me like 200, 150.
The motorcycle owners are also justifying the hike. They say though the premium motor spirit is valuable, the pump prices have continued to soar in the state.
As our new government can't come and sit now, everything does change, especially in the area of fuel. And as Makadi, as a case study, when you go to police station, you buy some police station, they said 850 naira, some 900, and some even no even open their police station. So now, my question is, if the police station are not open, based on the hike of price of fuel, how manage with the common man operate?
Advice to fellow Nigerians, especially the ones in Benue, Makurdi precisely. I want to advise us to try to find means of survival. You know, it all boils down to the government. The skyrockets in price of fuel, the hike in fuel prices has affected the means of transportation so badly that the common man hardly affords now. Let's say, for example, someone like a student, me, I'm coming from North Bank to BSU, it's quite bad. Like you have to spend like almost 1,500 every day, which is...
Many residents have now resorted to long-distance trekking in order to alleviate the cost of transportation. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
To Kano State now, where the Kano State Commissioner for Higher Education, Yusuf Kofarmata, has lost 3 members of his family to a fire outbreak. The commissioner announced this on his official Facebook handle on Wednesday. The deceased were his daughter, his elder sister, and his brother's wife. It was learned that the commissioner's residence in Kofarmata Metropolis in Kano was gutted by fire early Wednesday morning while the family was still asleep. A family source says several valuables were destroyed during the unfortunate incident. The spokesperson of the Kano State Fire Service says the level of damage and cause of the inferno could not yet be ascertained. Meanwhile, Kofarmata expressed grief over the loss of 3 members of his immediate family. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Bad internet connection persists as Nigerians decry worsening telecommunication services. More on this and many other stories up ahead in just a moment.
Are you in search of a top-tier studio equipped with state-of-the-art gear for your next productions? Look no further than Trust TV. At Trust TV, we pride ourselves on offering a sizable studio space, furnished with cutting-edge equipment, perfect for podcasts, video productions, and audience-based shows. From professional cameras to advanced lighting setups, we've got everything you need to bring your vision to life. And the best part, our rates are affordable without compromising on quality. Ready to elevate your productions? Contact Aisha at 0803-646-3018 to book your studio at Trust TV today.
Welcome back to the news update on Trust TV. Let's take another look at our top stories. The Nigerian Senate has removed Ali Nudume as Chief Whip of the Senate over alleged anti-party activities. Court reinstates Shuaibu as Edo State Deputy Governor as Assembly appeals judgment. The Nigeria Labour Congress on Tuesday threatened to shut down the country for a month in protest against plans by the National Assembly to deregulate the national minimum wage. NLC's threat came as the nation awaits a new national minimum wage following months of negotiations between the organized labor, the federal government, and the organized private sector. The NLC President Joe Ajero declared the position of the union while speaking on the sidelines of the 67th Nigeria Employers Consultative Association annual general meeting in Lagos. Ajero says the Joint Committee of the Senate, the House of Representatives, and the Judiciary have decided to remove Section 34 from the exclusive legislative list of the concurrent list, or to the concurrent list, so that the state governors can determine what to pay and so that there will be no minimum wage in the country. In an increasingly digital world where connectivity is key to economic growth and social development, Nigeria faces significant challenges with its internet infrastructure. From urban centers to rural communities, poor internet connectivity persists as major barriers hindering progress and opportunity. Trust TV's Dokas Yakubu in this report speaks to an expert on the implication of this trend on Nigeria's economy.
Nigeria, with a population exceeding 200 million, stands as one of Africa's largest economies and a hub for technological innovation on the continent. Internet user penetration in Nigeria saw a modest increase between 2018 and 2022, rising from around 26% to over 38%. As of 2022, the estimated number of internet users in the country surpassed 83 million. According to Statista, the share of the Nigerian population using the internet is expected to grow to approximately 48% by 2027. Despite these gains, internet connectivity remains a significant hurdle. Nigerians frequently raise complaints about poor connectivity and exorbitant data charges, highlighting the ongoing challenges in the country's digital landscape.
When you recharge, before you know it, the money will just vanish, most especially data. If you buy data and if you do not use it, maybe your phone have faults or something like that, it will just, like throughout yesterday I was calling and it was bouncing back. People are trying to reach me, they could not get me.
We are suffering. Data is quite expensive in Nigeria, and mind you, data is supposed to be for business. Do you understand? People that do business with data, what do you think about them? What do you think of them? Their income is not coming. Everybody is complaining. So it is quite expensive. So we want something to be done about it. Imagine, for sometimes you do subscription on your own data and you can't even have value for it. You can't even access the internet, but you have gigs. They are ripping us in Nigeria. They are raping us. Anybody that is not ready to live up to expectations should go away from the system.
While they attribute the problem to inadequate government policies, experts say poor internet connectivity in Nigeria is primarily due to infrastructure vandalism, poor infrastructure, and lack of investment.
Some of this internet can only be provided everywhere in the country when we have the right infrastructures. You and I know that Naira has lost significantly its value, and as a result, making business even more difficult. Providing internet and providing infrastructure is a very capital intensive, and there's no way you will be able to do this if you have this kind of forex fluctuation that is bedeviling the country. The challenge of security is almost like between 80 to 90% of most of the telecom infrastructure that tends to deliver quality internet. The investment in this sector is also limited, given the fact that people are looking for quick money, and then the return on investment for this kind of investment tend to take some time.
He further urged people to regulate their mobile phone usage, emphasizing the need for internet literacy.
People need to really help themselves, because we are handling devices now that have applications that help us to consume internet. The need for people to also be educated, be enlightened, to understand what we call the internet literacy or digital literacy on how even best to use your internet and manage it is very key and sacrosanct.
The struggle with internet connectivity in Nigeria reflects broader challenges faced by developing countries striving to bridge the digital divide. While progress has been made, significant barriers remain, particularly in rural and underserved areas. Addressing these challenges will require sustained commitments from the government, private sector stakeholders, and international partners to ensure that all Nigerians can benefit from the opportunities of the digital age. By overcoming these obstacles, Nigeria can unlock its full potential as a regional leader in technology and innovation, driving economic growth and improving the quality of life for its citizens. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
To developments on the international scene, Hezbollah has warned it will find new targets for its rocket attacks should Israel attacks continue to target civilians in Lebanon. The Lebanese armed group's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, issued the threat during a televised address on Wednesday. His words have increased concerns that the low-level conflict that Israel and Iran-aligned group have pursued since the start of the war in Gaza could escalate towards a full-scale war. Noting that 8 non-combatants were killed in Israeli attacks on Lebanon in recent days, Nasrallah said more civilian bloodshed would see Hezbollah fire at new Israeli targets. 5 civilians, including 3 children, were killed in Israeli raids in Lebanon on Tuesday. At least 3 Lebanese civilians were killed the day before, according to state media and security sources. Israel has said it is striking Hezbollah fighters and infrastructure in Lebanon and does not target civilians. Talking sports now, Luka Modric, Real Madrid's captain, has signed a new 1-year contract extension, keeping him at the Santiago Bernabeu until June 30th, 2025, as announced by the European champions on Wednesday. The 38-year-old midfielder, who has been pivotal in Real Madrid's successes, including 6 Champions League titles and multiple domestic trophies, remains a key player under coach Carlo Ancelotti. Despite starting sparingly in the last 2 league seasons, Modric played a crucial role in Real Madrid's recent Champions League La Liga double. Modric recently made history as the oldest goal scorer in European Championship history during the Euros, scoring for Croatia against Italy. His leadership and experience continue to be invaluable to both club and country, despite Croatia's early exit in the tournament. This announcement of Modric's extension follows the unveiling of new star Kylian Mbappe, who recently joined Real Madrid from Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid will begin their title defense with a match against Real Mallorca on Sunday, August 18. That's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. You can check back a little later at 9 for the day's main bulletin. But for now, follow us across our social media platforms to stay in touch. You can also visit our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news, programs and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time.